Hello friends and welcome to a new knitty video. My name is Celine and today we're gonna catch up. So first of all, let me know down in the comments how you've been doing, what you've been up to, what have you been knitting. It's very important to know. I thought I'd spend the first few minutes of this video updating you on my most recent knitty quests because the month of February was a very prolific knitty month for me, on the total contrary of January, which was the biggest slump of my life. January really tested me. The first one is the one I'm wearing. This is the Olymp sweater vest by Le Pool. I have been dreaming about wearing this for 3 years. The other day I was going through my laptop trying to clean it up as usual because it's always full. The memory's always full. And I found a photo of the sample from the designer and it dated back to spring 2023. So I've literally been thinking about it for 3 years. So I cannot describe the euphoric state of mind this puts me in. It's very artsy and unique and I love the scrappy aesthetic. And of course, the fact that I only used yarn scraps. Tickles my brain. I didn't have to invest in any new yarn. I decluttered a little bit of my stash by using it up. Now, it didn't really make a big dent in my stash because it's relatively substantial, so I'm gonna have to make like a matching blanket or something to see a difference. But still, you know that very common feeling that you have as a knitter, just wearing something that you made makes you feel super proud and self-sufficient. This piece gives me exactly that feeling times 100. I find that this piece made me feel more creative and inventive than your average knitting project because you really have to work with what you have. You have to match the different random colors and the different weights and try to make it work in a similar gauge, and it makes you feel like a little scientist almost. Then of course, wearing something so colorful just puts a smile on my face because color is the best thing ever. It makes me feel blessed. This is what she's looking like at the ribbing. We also have the twisted rib at the armholes here. And then I went for that creamy, buttery yellow double knitted button band, which is something that I knew I wanted to do since I saw the sample because that's what the designer uses and I thought it was so cute. I sort of figured that the color you pick for the button band sort of determines what colors will look best with the vest. So I thought if I go for butter yellow, it's gonna look really nice with navy blue and burgundy. Burgundy is my favorite color ever. And then I have a lot of blue in my wardrobe, so that further reassured that the butter yellow was the color for my button band. I picked these very simple deep burgundy buttons to go with it. I think they're from Yurtagarn. She recommends 20mm buttons. I went for 15 because my button band ended up being a little bit smaller than what she indicated because of what I was holding, the yarn, the gauge of my double knitting, anyways, whatever. Best thing I've ever made this year so far. I know we're not that far into the year, but it's gonna be hard to top it. Then I finished my Suki skirt in time for Unravel Festival, which you have seen in my previous vlog. But the vlog before that, I was working on the Suki skirt and I was so scared I wasn't gonna make it in time because I was having trouble designing it and I had to unravel a lot of it. But once I got it, actually knit up so quickly. So she's done. Oh, and she's crinkly. This is her. I'm so happy about this design. It fits like a glove. That's the thing with knitting. You can really tweak designs to make them fit you impeccably. And that's what I was aiming for with the Suki skirt. But long story short, the design elements of this one tap back to the Suki cardigan and sweater designs that I released in 2025 to create a matching suit. We've got a double folded stockinette band with an opening to access the elastic. We've got the shaping to create the perfect fit. And then we've got an overlapping little slit here. I have written a pattern for this and I'm pretty sure that the day this video goes up, the test goal application form will still be open for a day or two. So I'll link that down below in case you're interested in applying to test knit this skirt. If the link isn't in the description box, it means it's a few days later and the test application form has closed. But either way, the test knit will last about 6 weeks. So after that, the pattern will be out on Ravelry and Etsy. And I'm very excited to share that with you. The next project is another self-drafted one for which I intend to write the pattern. And this is her so far. This is called the Flora top. It's inspired by the Winx. They're this fairy cartoon, Italian fairy cartoon. I was a big fan of Winx. As a little girl, my favorite Winx was Bloom. I always played Bloom with my friends at playtime, but as an adult, I think Flora has overtaken. So I wanted to create a piece inspired by her that would be an ode to the design features in her Magic Winks transformation, I think it's called. This piece is extra special because I'm using cashmere to make this. I was so blessed to receive an email from Cardiff Cashmere and they wanted to send over some of the yarn for me to create something. So I picked the most gorgeous deep magenta color. I can't remember the number, but I'll put it on screen here. It's otherworldly and it's so perfect for a Flora top. Let me put this on so I can explain the vision. Okay, so this is her so far. It does look like a summer top, but it will have long sleeves, so keep that in mind. The main feature so far that you can see is the asymmetrical neckline. If you look at the Flora Magic Winks transformation outfit, there's a lot of asymmetry, especially with those pointy hems. Well, the hem and then the sleeves and stuff like that. But I really liked the idea of an asymmetrical neckline. I thought it was something that's quite rare that you don't really see that often, right? I picked up stitches and added a little ruffled edge that is not visible right now because before blocking it just folds forward so you can't see it. I was thinking I could benefit from a mid-project block to see if that ruffle actually stands up. I'm currently on the body shaping. I want this to be nice and form-fitting. I'm not going to tell you what I plan to do for the rest of this piece. I have a very specific vision, but I don't know if I'll be able to execute it, so... But I'm having so much fun and the yarn is the softest thing ever. It's an absolute treat. I have actually been sitting on this sofa for hours because I was editing before I started filming, and then this morning I also did a pretty intense knitting session. I was like, so my back hurts. I think I should stretch. Welcome to my stretch corner. I have an orange in hand for the first stretch. I'll just use this to pass it on from hand to hand behind me, and this will help open up my upper back that I curl up like this all the time while I'm knitting. So let's do this one. It's probably my least favorite one because it really hurts, especially on one side. Let me show you. So when my non-dominant hand is underneath here, I feel like I can stretch and reach the two hands really well. But then when I'm the other way and my dominant hand is under here, I definitely struggle, which means that I tense it up a lot. My hair's in the way. This is tragic. The pain I get from knitting also involves the neck and shoulders, so I do this stretch for that. I interlock my fingers and pull outward, and then I circle like a pigeon. And then I go in the opposite direction. Once I did both sides, I'm gonna tilt my head to one side as far as I can get it while still maintaining that pull. And then I'm gonna look up at the ceiling and it looks like I'm doing nothing, but I feel it everywhere. Oh girl. Okay, last stretch. I'm gonna hold my hand like this and pull it across the front of my body, and then I'm gonna drop. I'm gonna go out of frame, like I'm gonna bend down as if I were reaching for my tiptoes. This one I really feel in my shoulder blades and my wrists. Let's do the other side. Oh my gosh, my hair got caught in the plant. I want to end my little self-care session with my ThermoRed belt from Bob and Brad, who are very kindly sponsoring this video. This device delivers 4-in-1 back relief through heat, dual red light therapy, and adjustable vibration in a comfortable and wearable belt. It's got a Velcro attachment. It has a 4-button control panel with a display. I think I'll put this at 40 degrees Celsius. I'll put the vibration on. And then of course, the light therapy. I find that the combination of the heat, the light therapy, and the vibration loosens that deep back tension I get from knitting in a way that regular heating pads and hot water bottles can't exactly reach. I'm a big fan of red light for many purposes. I love it in my skincare. I love it in a sauna so much. And here it uses 2 kinds of red light, which go deep into the muscles to ease stiffness. The vibration is super relaxing because it increases blood flow, and we love more oxygen and nutrients going into our muscles. Even on its own, without even thinking about the heat and the light therapy and the vibration, I love the belt because it provides support for my tired back and it encourages me to have better posture while I'm wearing it. And it's effortless. You don't need to hold a device or be attached to a plug. You can work, relax, or stretch while simultaneously getting the relief from the belt, completely hands-free. It feels like physical therapy level care at home, and it's the perfect little self-care gift gift for us knitters or for any of your loved ones that may require some extra back maintenance. Mother's Day is coming up in the UK, so that's a gift idea for you. I'll leave the link to the Bob & Brad ThermoRed heat pad in the description box alongside a 10% off promo code for you friends to use. And I think I will leave it on while I chat for the rest of the video because it's very soothing and I'll always accept some help with my posture. While we knit away together, I wanted to talk about last weekend. So I went to Kent to visit and stay with my friend / colleague Keely. I ended up having such a good weekend and I'm so happy that I filmed a few bits. First of all, so that I could keep the memories, but then I could share it with you. It was such a wholesome time. So yeah, I'll take you along. Throwback to this little trip to Kent. On my way to Keely's, I decided to pop by the Lush store on Oxford Street. It's fabulous. I think it's 3 floors and they have such a wide range of products and it's super fun to just be there and look at them all. I wanted to bring her a little gift to thank her for hosting me, so I just wanted to share what I picked up because the items are so cute. For context, Keely loves gardening. She has her own little veg patch, so I thought I would pick things up that would remind me of her love of gardening. So I selected this soap bar that was in the shape of a watering can and it was green, which is her favorite color. Then I got a bath bomb with a chicken face on it. Then I got a bubble bar in the shape of a nice daisy. And lastly, I got a carrot that I believe was a bubble bar. And I got it because I know that she's gonna grow carrots this year for the first time. Glad I could find so many gardening themed things. It was very fun.
Lucid dreaming, losing what you love. You're so enlightened that you forgot.
That morning, the weather wasn't cute, like every single day before that, but miraculously, as soon as my train got to Kent, the sky opened up and it was blue and sunny. So Keely picked me up from the station, we dropped my bags at her place and headed straight for a walk in the countryside.
trouble, you best beware. And though deep down I know I might be headed for teardrops, now that you got me started, I just can't stop. No.
Yeah, it's better. My face is kind of cut off. Cut off. Hollander.
After breakfast, we drove to a nearby park. It was a very woodsy / foresty park. It was super rainy, but we were equipped with wellies and rainproof shoes and umbrellas, ready to stomp in the mud and have a lovely time out in nature. What was super fun about this walk is that Keely loves to forage, and she actually knows so many things. So we foraged a little bit. We spotted a few plants and mushrooms here and there. So I just wanted to share that experience with you because it was completely new to me and I had the best time. So I guess come with us to forage.
First step for the woman on the moon, pioneer in silence. Time is dilating with the moon.
Hi friends, official introduction to Keely in this video.
Hi friends. We went to Trosley Country Park and we went for a little walk. It was very rainy, but we took our umbrellas and we had a little forage. There were some things. It's very early in spring, but there's some new growth and still some bits that are kind of clinging on from like the winter months.
What do we have?
We've got a few things on here. Let's start with the red scarlet elf cups. They're really like fun spots in winter because they're these little pops of red in amongst the kind of undergrowth and things. I've cooked with them before. I wouldn't say they're like super flavorful, but you can, add some bits to them and some garlic and things. I've chopped them up and fried them like you would a normal mushroom. This is a big one. They can be really tiny and red. You get them in February and winter, and they call them that because they thought that little elves or fairies would drink from them. Can you see?
Yeah.
See if I can get it. I'm gonna break it. Oh, elf cup. They could be called a ruby elf cup. The scarlet elf cup and the ruby elf cup are pretty much the same. You can only tell the difference under a microscope, but they're both edible. So people tend to either just say, oh, it's a scarlet elf cup or a ruby elf cup.
Oh, that's a proper cup.
That's a cup. See?
Root.
I was so shocked because Keely forgot to tell me that when you pick one, it smokes. I thought I was hallucinating. I was like,
Okay, I just saw the weirdest thing.
I'd forgotten about it, but Celine was like, I don't know if I'm okay, but I think it just smoked. And I was like, yes, it did. That's it releasing the pores. So some mushrooms, when you touch them or, interact with them, they they let out their spores. And so we're helping spread more scarlet elf cups. So,
girl, you're so good at this. Is she not? What the heck?
And so Celine actually spotted these on the tree and she was like, can we have these? And I was like, yes, we can. So these are known as many different names. They're called jelly ears, they're called wood ears. They go by a few different names and they only grow on elder trees. And they called it because they look like an ear.
No.
This is the most fun.
They're used a lot in like Asian cooking and cuisine. So like broths, photos, that kind of thing, soups and things. They work really well. I really want to try them as like a Jaffa cake alternative. So you put them in and you cover them in dark chocolate and have them with orange inside as well. And then what else we got here? Sticky cleaver. And it's great because it sticks in place. Stop.
No way. Wait, let me show you.
It's called Sticky Willy, it's called Cleaver, it's called a few different things. Goose grass, I think, is another one. I think in the UK, like as kids, we would find this and stick it on each other's clothes. So people are quite familiar with it. But it's really great if you put it in water overnight in the fridge and then drink the water the next day. It kind of tastes like cucumber, watermelon-y like water, and it's great for detoxifying the body and just like clearing out things, and it's really, really refreshing actually. We should try this tonight actually because that would be really great. And finally, because it's really early spring, the flowers are starting to come out, so we've got a few very small little primroses here. Edible flowers, we can take some for, there's not very many in there. We can take some for our salad. We only took a couple because it's spring and early flowers are, for the bees and the insects and things. And then this is herb Robert. I add it to salads and things. Should be growing in like a rosette here, like all around. You see, there's like 1 leaf, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turkey tail.
Turkey tail.
Yeah.
Good for
So look, so you can tell it's tail. It's got like little holes in the back. It's like all pores. And then the concentric rings around it with the white around here. But it's they're doing a lot of studies with this for like it's cancer curing. You can make like broths out of it and stuff, and it's more of like a medicine than edible. So they're really great for tinder, to light something on. I thought they were going to be squishy like Black Witch's butter, but they're not.
We had another lovely meal, then watched some YouTube, and then we drove to the spa. This spa place was actually really nice and very different from anything I had been to. They had, like 3 or 4 individual spa rooms, each with a little sauna, a steam pod, and a cold plunge. So you go there in a pair, you can bring your friend or your partner or whoever, and you have that room to yourselves. And yeah, it was really lovely. We were there for an hour and we chatted away. And it's really funny because we, you know, kind of gossiped about our experiences in our lives. And when we got out of the room, the guy at reception referenced our conversation. He was eavesdropping, and very open and upfront about him eavesdropping, and it was really funny. But we drove back home, and to complete our spa experience, we applied these face masks that we were meant to keep for like 3 to 4 hours. They're meant to be super hydrating, and it was really funny because we looked crazy. And all of a sudden, it was Monday. And I did mention at the beginning of this video that Keely is my work colleague, so we just headed to the office together.
Can we talk now? Maybe this will be a better time. After
So you have to create a slip knot. This is your like working yarn is.
fall, I feel what I'm saying will land right, making contact.
Good morning. Keely and I are on the train heading to work to the office. We're having a little knitty lesson, so I'm teaching Keely how to cast on. She's already going. I had no doubt she would pick this up really fast.
I'm going slowly.
She's cast on like 15 stitches already. So I wanted to ask you, how would you rate fun level of casting on?
I would say at the moment it's an 8.5.
Solid.
Great satisfaction.
Good.
And way easier than I thought.
Good. And then we're gonna go for the knit and then the purl and see if the rating goes down. Hopefully not.
Crossing over stationary lines, Sharpie biggest. In the boxes on the list of ways we.
How would you rate the knit stitch?
It's harder than I thought.
Declining.
But until I think I just need to do a bit more. I would say the knit stitch was a 7.5.
You're being generous. By the energy that you're emitting, I feel like you think it's more of a 5-.
I think it's just like with anything, right? It takes a little while to get it, and I wanted to get it straight away.
But you're doing great.
Listen, I know. Listen, baby, I ain't never met no one like you. 'Cause I've been around, but your vibe is something new. Come on, baby, give me, that's the truth. Let me tell you what I'm trying to do with you. Like, ooh, baby, take my hand, let me ride away with you. Away with you. And ooh, baby, take a chance, I can make your dreams come true. Your dreams come true. Let me ride away, ride away, ride away, ride away. Let me ride away with you. Oh yeah. Say you want the moon, I'll take it down. Give you every star in those counts.
hope you enjoyed this little vlog section of the video. I had the best time with my friend. I really enjoyed the fact that she let me in on her passion for foraging, and then I was able to teach her how to knit a little bit on the train. I thought that was such a cute exchange of passions, so that was very wholesome. You know you've had a good weekend when no signs of sadness and fear and anxiety or worry cross your mind, and that was exactly me this weekend, so I hope you also perceived the peace. I would love to know in the comments what sort of weekend would make you friends feel that way. What would you do on the ideal perfect weekend? What activities would you do to keep your mind, worry, sadness and fear free? I'm very curious to know, and I might take some inspiration from you, and you should also take an inspiration from everybody's comments and your own comment and actually try and put that weekend into action, because it's just really good for your soul and we all deserve it. I think that is all for today. I thank you so much for sticking till the end of this video. I always really appreciate the company, so thank you for being here and thank you for supporting. I will leave my Instagram on screen in case you'd like to follow my creations more in real time. I will say bye for now, and I hope to see you in the next video.